Hello everybody, it's Nancy News here, and today we've got some breaking news coming from Syria and a lot of places today. So there's a lot of updates today, so it might be a bit of a longer video. So there's been reports of Turkish and Syrian rebels fighting near the border, so in this city here. Afrin, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce this. So heavy clashes have been reported between the Syrians and the Turkish army. So if you can see these videos here, very heavy clashes. You can hear a lot of gunfire in the background. So very big. All crossings between Syria and Turkey have already been closed, and there's been reports of Turkish F-16s have taken off from various airports and now on their way to northern Syria, where the Turkish-backed Syrian rebels are clashing against the Turks, especially in the city of Afrin city. So very interesting. And we also got reports that Turkish armored vehicles are heading to this direction too. So very, very interesting. There's been reports of the Syrians uh, ripping up Turkish flags and with knives and stuff and stomping on them. If you can see in these videos here, apparently this is happening by the masses. That a lot of this is happening, and that's all I have for you for Syria. But tomorrow we should have more information that comes out of here. We got on news coming from Netanyahu, the president of Israel. So Netanyahu has said Hamas will soon be defeated and victory can be declared. So, and we also got on images from the Gaza Strip. The IDF 99th Division fighters blew up a long tunnel in the central Gaza Strip. So you can see this massive explosion here, your bottom left corner. And we got on images. This apparently destroyed this long tunnel, if you can see here. So there seems to be a drone flying into these tunnels. So huge tunnels underneath the Gaza Strip. So very, very interesting. We got news coming from Hezbollah that the diplomatic sources say that Israel will carry out a ground attack against Hezbollah in Lebanon during the second half of this month. So if Hezbollah's attacks do not stop. So we got a lot of news of this, and the Israeli foreign minister has said Iran threatens today to destroy Israel if Israel fully responds to the Hezbollah attacks from Lebanon. So if you haven't been keeping updated on these past couple months, Hezbollah and Lebanon have been really fighting. Lebanon's been hitting Israeli vehicles. Yes, just yesterday we saw Hezbollah footage of Hezbollah destroying Israeli tanks, groups of troops in Israel, and they've been really been putting on the pressure here. So apparently the Israeli foreign minister responded that if Hezbollah does not cease its fire and withdraw from southern Lebanon, we will act against it with full force until security is restored and residents can return to their homes. A regime that threatens destruction deserves to be destroyed. So very, very big statements come from the Israeli foreign minister. So this, the obviously Hezbollah is not going to leave southern Lebanon, and it's going to continue these attacks on Israel. So this war it seems to be on the highway of becoming hot, becoming very, very active. So apparently, we got news from the Lebanon authorities that Iran will support Hezbollah by all means if Israel decides on full-scale war against Lebanon. So if Israel even decides putting ground troops on the Hezbollah territory, Iran will support them fully. And we got on news from a couple of videos ago now that apparently Afghanistan will send about 4,000 highly trained Taliban that were fighting in the mountains to fight in the rough terrain in southern Lebanon too. Because if you can see here, very, very mountainous region. So very, very interesting. We got some news that Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister or the President of Hungary, Orban will visit Kiev on July the 2nd, so today, to meet with Zelensky. This was reported by British newspapers, Financial Times. If you don't know Viktor Orban, he's the president of Hungary. He's been very let's we can just say anti-Ukraine. He doesn't support the war in Ukraine. He believes that Ukraine will lose this war in the end, and the Western countries should really get out of Russia's business and stop sending weapons to Ukraine. Hungary hasn't sent a single thing to Ukraine, off the top of my knowledge, I believe. They've always been very neutral to this conflict, and I think without Hungary, this war would have been a lot worse what it is right now. But apparently he's going to be meeting today. This visit comes a day after Hungary assumes temporary presidency over the European Union. So they could be discussing just European Union stuff, because Zelensky's been stating to the world that he's got a high interest in joining the European Union. And he also said Belarus should join too. But very, very interesting. So this will be Viktor Orban's first visit to Kiev since the war in Ukraine. So very, very interesting. We got more news coming from Zelensky. Zelensky stating that Ukraine simply doesn't want a long war, but it's Russia that really can't afford it. He also said the United States is not willing to invite Ukraine to join NATO today, Zelensky stated. This is what he quoted. If the USA is afraid of irritating Putin, and that's why they don't invite us to NATO, we ask the United States to give us everything possible that they can protect us, he added. So very, very interesting. We got news coming from Finland that Finland will apparently open up 15 of its military facilities for possible use of US forces. So US forces might be entering Finland in the coming months or days, we don't know. But 15 facilities are going to be open. Estonia has announced that it will begin demolishing any type of communist, let's say, historical artifact, because if you didn't know, Estonia was in the Soviet Union, so there's naturally a lot of Soviet statues, a lot of old post-Soviet buildings with steel sickles, hammer and sickles on them. So it's very interesting now. They're going to begin to demolish these things. We've got news from Albania. Albania, for the first time in several centuries, the proportion of Muslims in Albania's population fell below 50%. This has happened at the expense of those Albanians who consider themselves Christians now. So, very, very interesting. We got news from Netherlands that the Netherlands has issued permission to export 24 F-16 fighters. The first aircraft will soon be delivered to Ukraine. So I've got some issues with that, because they've been saying this, like Denmark and the Netherlands have been stating that they will be sending F-16s very soon for a year now, and it still hasn't happened. I remember when they first stated it, they said, I think it was Denmark, first 6 F-16s will be transferred to Ukraine in a month. It's now been about 6 months. So apparently now the Netherlands is gonna transfer 24, but I don't know. There's a part of me that doubts that. Apparently, we got news that special forces of the armed forces of Ukraine has arrived in the Overwatch region, so around here, and apparently these special forces of the Ukrainian armed forces are apparently 5 kilometers from the border with Belarus. So the Ukrainian armed forces drones enter Belarusian territory at a distance of up to 1 kilometer. And let's not forget about yesterday. So yesterday's video, we stated that Belarus is willing to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in case of its independence is threatened. This was stated by the defense minister of Belarus. So this is pushing Belarus. We're not sure. Obviously, they're going to ask permission from Russia first. So we'll see how this is going to end. So more Ukrainian soldiers coming to the Belarusian border here. So very interesting. And there's apparently been an estimate that apparently NATO, including I'm pretty sure Ukrainian forces, have about 120,000 troops or 100,000 troops around this whole area. I'll outline it here. So very, very interesting. There seems to be a lot of pressure being added to the Belarusian borders. That's not the only thing we've gotten from there. We've seen these Ukrainian reserves on the border with Belarus. These are the vehicles that are heading to the Belarusian border. And if you can zoom into this picture, actually, these all vehicles have a triangle symbol on them. So very, very interesting. I don't know what the Ukrainians are up to, but the last time we saw triangle symbol was when the Russians came down from the Kiev district and uh, tried to siege down Kiev. So I don't know why this is happening, I guess. So it's very interesting, and of course I will keep you updated on that. North Korea. So we got news from North Korea that North Korea has conducted a new missile test. So it's conducted a new type of ballistic missile, the uh, sorry if I pronounced this wrong, the Hwasong-4 11DA 4.5. So this is the minimum and the maximum ranges. So North Korea says it is testing this new missile, and apparently this is capable of carrying an ultra-large warhead weighing about 4.5 tons. So huge development when it comes to from North Korean missile technology. We had news that yesterday that a Chinese company, Space Pioneers Tianlong 3Y1, this rocket crashed to the ground, so it's a space rocket. So it crashed to the ground due to fails of its first stages. Because of its first stage rocket broke off, and the static fire test and launched into the air before crashing down. So this was a failed launch. It wasn't planned to go up into the air until like an hour later, but apparently the computers did some miscalculations, and the rocket boosters failed to actually launch, and it crashed down to the ground. US military bases in Europe are now on high alert due to the threat of terrorist attack, likely the highest in at least 10 years. So this is reported from the CNN. And we got news from the sea between Ireland and the United Kingdom. According to Bloomberg, Russian attack submarines are conducting unprecedented military operations in the Irish Sea between Great Britain and Ireland. According to the report and the article, at least two such operations were carried out. One about a year and a half ago, and now one more recently. The unusual presence of Russian submarines so close to the British coast has forced the Ministry of Defence in London to launch a series of security operations around Britain and Ireland. So very, very interesting, and that's all I have for you today. If you see there's been a lot of news today, and if you want to keep up with these news, then consider subscribing and liking. So thank you very much for watching. I am Non-Scene News. I will try and provide you news that the Western medias and other medias do not show you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.